Os. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom Callahan. Thank you again for joining me. Today will be part 3 in our Karate Kihon breakdown, Kyokushin Karate Kihon breakdown. The organization I belong to is Kyokushin-kan under Kaicho Royama and Kancho Okazaki. And so these techniques are based off Kyokushin-kan. They may slightly differ from your organization, but primarily they're all the same with slight modifications potentially. As I always say, work on the techniques, we modify them anyway, but there are certain primary and fundamental constants that we should be paying attention to in all our techniques. For example, today we're going to work on the Shuto. The Shuto is this part of the hand here, the knife hand. So in order to use this part of the hand, we have to have our wrist back. If we're doing this strike, the wrist is back to expose this. If we're doing this strike, which we'll go over, the wrist has to be back to expose this part of the hand. I see a lot of the wrist straight, which will engage this part of the hand. And of course, obviously you can break your hand, break your fingers here. This is the part you want to strike with. And in order to do that, we need to have our wrist back in all the strikes, in all the Shuto strikes. So we're just going to go over these quickly. There's only 2 or 3 things that you should pay attention to on the strikes, on each technique, and we'll go through it quickly. And then the next part 4 will be the shita and the elbows, and that will be in a few days. So let's start from Migiyashimai Sanchin Dachi. Yoi! Ekamaite. Okay, so again, first strike is Shuto Gamen Uchi, face strike. It's actually striking to the temple. You notice the wrist is back to expose this part of the hand. And here's the temple. You imagine or look in the mirror for yourself. And that's my temple. Here's the center line. We want to strike the center line or slightly past it here. Now, the other thing to pay attention to is to not fully extend the hand. Bring it in because you need to engage the lat for strength. And this is dissipating power. And if your wrist is straight, obviously, you break your fingers here. So that's no good. Wrist back, 3/4 of the way, about a fist and a half, maybe slightly more. And we wind up similar to the Soto Uke, similar. Bringing this hand back moves the koshi, generates the power. Starts here. Same. Wrist back. Tempo. Os. Next one is the Sakutsuchi, collarbone strike. Again, from back here. Yunjigo. As we come straight to generate the power to strike, the elbow has to work. I see a lot of this. You're not doing that. There's nothing down here. Here is the collarbone of your opponent. So it's almost like throwing a baseball. I'm striking here. Collarbone. Collarbone. Wrist back to expose this. Don't come down and don't have a straight wrist. Here, I'm striking collarbone. Next, Hizuchi. Hizuchi, very important to have the wrist way bent, like there's water running off your fingers into the ground. Again, fist and a half, not here. I see this a lot. And I'm just get afraid because I don't want anybody breaking their hands if they're striking. Here, here. Center line, cross the center line slightly. Os. Down, wrist back, Hizuchi, Shuto Hizuchi. Next is the Kome, thrust, Kome. Again, to the Sakutsu, collarbone. I'd like to do this one to this part of the collarbone, near the shoulder. So we separate the shoulder. We can break the collarbone here, separate the shoulder here. This strike, anywhere. Here, here. It's a very small bone. break it here, break it here. Again, the kome, I like to do more in this area because you can break it towards the shoulder more, and the shoulder will, just like a punch, just like a punch. Wrist back, hit here. Last one's a little more tricky. It's the uchi-uchi, reverse. We're going for the carotid artery, the neck, exposing this. So I bend my wrist back here, because strike, hook, pull. It comes from the opposite. Here, here, here. No, this would work, actually, but it's too risky. Here. This, here. Okay? Comes from the opposite side. Os. So those are the Shuto strikes. A couple of minor details to pay attention to while you're doing this. Again, we improvise after we learn our fundamentals. And until next time, we'll see you on part 4. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the subscribing, comments, suggestions, all these things. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Os!